On Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. House Republicans approve a bill with huge consequences, the sweeping changes in Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. More Americans traveling this Memorial Day weekend than ever before, but will they reach their destinations? Was the public properly notified? That's the question at the center of a lawsuit against a local school district over a massive tax break for an oil and gas behemoth.
And it's been a little bit of a hot week, hasn't it? But coming our way for the rest of this week, that trend will continue. But if that's not for you, we have weather that should be doing going to next week with the front, bringing us cooler temperatures and rain chances. All that in the weather coming up.
And the Ganado Maidens look to make history later tonight versus Corrigan Camden. We'll hear from one of the players and the head coach coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday Eve. Before Parker corrects me, it is Thursday,
Thursday.
It is Jueves.
But tomorrow's Friday, more importantly.
And we're all getting the vacation brain, right? Memorial Day weekend is upon us. People are traveling, planning out their road trips, air travel. Parker, what do we have in store weather-wise?
Well, weather-wise, the heat. You just heard me talking about it. It's going to continue before we have a cool front with rain to talk about for Memorial Day. So stay tuned. We're going to look at your Memorial Day plans and see if you'll be rained out or not. But before we get to that, though, we got to talk about what's happening right now. If you look at live in Victoria, you can actually see we do have a very, very light layer of fog starting to form around some of our counties this morning, thanks to the temperature starting to very, very slowly cool, only to 74, but it's cooling to the dew point, which is 74, which is why we have 100% humidity. And if you combine the high humidity with very light to calm winds out there for all of us this morning, we have a little bit of that fog that's trying to form out there this morning. I want to let y'all know that looking at your visibility map, it's pretty light right now in most of our counties, but I do think there are a few patchy areas that are going to see some denser fog. So just be careful if you see that on the roads this morning. Otherwise, that'll clear up at around 8 or 8:30 like it usually does, down to some partly cloudy skies. You can see that right here on satellite. But also with an upper level front coming our way later this afternoon, we may have a chance for spotty showers, which we'll look at later. Because otherwise, if you're headed out the door looking for a hot, humid day with decreasing clouds and heated seas up to 107. All those details coming up next.
Breaking this morning, the Republican-led House approved a tax bill after a grueling all-night session, taking a major step forward for Trump's agenda. The House passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act on a 215 to 214 vote, with one member voting present. The bill now heads to the Senate, which will deal with it after the Memorial Day week recess. It includes cuts to Medicaid and food stamps, major tax breaks, and last-minute changes like raising the state and local tax deduction cap to $40,000 for some, ending energy tax credits early, and removing the tax on firearm silencers. It also speeds up Medicaid work requirements and introduces a new child savings account named after Trump. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. Which change in the bill would impact your household? All right, let's take a look. 42% of you say changes to state and local tax deduction cap, and 38% of you say none would significantly impact you. 4% of you say food stamps, 8% of you say tax energy credit changes, and 8% of you say Medicaid changes. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Authorities are searching for 15-year-old Sherilyn Roque, last seen around 1 a.m. Tuesday on Hopper Road in North Harris County. The Harris County Sheriff's Office believes she may be with 20-year-old Mauricio Aaron Ramos, traveling in a black Mazda. If you have any information, call 911 immediately. Millions are hitting the roads or flying this holiday weekend, facing delays from weather and air traffic control issues, including a recent disruption in our home state.
This morning, travel trouble as the Memorial Day holiday rush begins. Flights at the Austin, Texas airport grounded yesterday because of more air traffic controller staffing issues.
The fixes are going to take us some time, some months, some years, but if we're going to fix it, we have to start now, and that's what we've done.
At busy Newark Airport outside New York, the FAA now extending limits on flights after multiple air traffic control system outages blamed on low staffing and outdated communication systems. Other recent outages were reported from Denver to Houston. And now the CEOs of 10 major airlines sending a letter to Congress yesterday pushing for immediate action, saying air traffic controllers should not be operating with corroded copper wiring, floppy disks, and physical strips of paper with flight numbers. And serious upgrades need to happen now.
Most Americans today walk around with more computing power in their pocket than air traffic controllers have at the ready.
Record travel is expected this Memorial Day weekend. More than 3.5 million Americans are expected to fly, a 2% increase from last year. And more than 39 million will travel by car, about 1 million more than last year. And for many, the weather not cooperating, with heavy rain today along the I-95 corridor in the northeast, along with wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour and snow possible in northern New England.
Analysts say fewer people are traveling abroad this year, so get ready for bigger crowds if you're traveling to tourist sites here at home this summer, like national parks. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
A battle is brewing in Calhoun County over a major tax incentive for ExxonMobil, and the issue is now set to play out in court. An environmental group is suing Calhoun County ISD, claiming it failed to give proper public notice before discussing a $248 million tax break for ExxonMobil's proposed $10 billion plan. The group claims the district posted a notice a day late and in a hard-to-find spot online. The school board has delayed a decision as the debate continues over potential jobs and economic impact versus environmental concerns. An informational meeting on the proposed ExxonMobil project is set for 6 this evening at the Olivia Community Center on County Road 304 East in Port Lavaca. The public is invited to attend. All right, let's get a look at our clock now. It's 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next. A couple's dream purchase turns into a nightmare when a new piece of furniture arrives with unwanted guests.
A deadly shooting outside the Capitol Jewish Museum kills 2 people. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details on the suspect and what police say he chanted as he was detained.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, like you heard me say earlier, we do have some spotty rain chances coming away later today. So coming up next, I'll time all of that out for you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday. Once again, you're looking live in Cuero. We are experiencing some now dense fog in some parts of our counties. You can actually see that. Right here in Cuero, you can no longer see the water tower. We can actually see one of the legs right there to the water tower, which is about exactly 1/8 mile away from this camera right here. So we're now looking at visibility in DeWitt County down to about an 1/8 mile or less, which is pretty dangerous. We're talking about, that equates to about 600 feet. Need I remind you. But temperature right now is 76, nice and warm out there, but dew point is dropping to that temperature, which is why we see some of that fog this morning. So please be careful if you see that. That'll burn off at around 8 or 8:30 like it usually does in the morning time, down to some mostly cloudy / partly cloudy skies in the morning time, which too will also be on the decrease all day long, down to partly cloudy and mostly sunny skies. I'm thinking for the all afternoon time, as you can see right here. But you did also hear me say earlier, we do have a chance for rain today. It's going to be real low at only 20%, bumped up from yesterday's 10%. And I think that's going to come at around 4 or 5 p.m. and afterwards for the rest of the late afternoon. Here's 4. You can see maybe a few spotty showers at 20% in coverage, maybe forming in the late afternoon time, continuing for the rest of the afternoon time, and continuing after sunset as well. But I do think as soon as the sun sets, we'll start seeing a decrease in strength. But there may be a few left over into the nighttime. So make sure to check the radar for if you see any rain today. And if you do see any, you'd be pretty lucky because everybody else is going to see lots of sunshine, heating us up to about 90 at noontime and the afternoon, looking for low and mid-90s for highs for most of us. But temperatures will stay like that for the next several days with heat indices up to 105, so stay hydrated. Do that all the way to next week before we get that front on Monday night, and that's all coming up next.
Hi, good morning here, Crossroads. A couple days ago, the Ganado Maidens faced the Corrigan Camden Bulldogs at Navasota High School, and the Maidens got on the board early with Callie Stanzik having a total of 5 RBIs. Their a couple days ago contest, and Paley Avjoski had 3 RBIs, and the Maidens won the game there 19-2 in Game 1. So this team feeling confident heading into tonight's matchup and knowing they have to get one more win to get to the state championship. Head coach James Harp and pitcher Sailor Bears knows what this team needs to do to stay focused at the task at hand.
Mindset is we're going to celebrate that tonight because winning's not easy, and so We're going to walk around the halls tomorrow, smiles on our faces, and when it's time to go to practice, we're going to wipe them off and reset.
Strong, not stay complacent or just go in like with a heavy mindset, like, oh, we already got this in the bag, whatever. Like, make sure we're on point, just as good as we were today, and just know that they're going to come out just as hard and harder, knowing that they just got beat bad.
Now, both Harp and Burrs agreed they need to bring that same intensity tonight there at Navasota if they want to reach their first ever state championship in program history. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Just search for it on your connected TV, Crossroads Today Plus. 2 Israeli embassy staff members are dead after a shooting outside a Jewish museum.
Overnight, police in Washington, D.C. investigating the deadly shooting of 2 Israeli embassy staff members. Authorities say the man and woman were shot at close range as they were leaving the Capitol Jewish Museum.
Prior to the shooting, the suspect was observed pacing back and forth outside of the museum. He approached a group of 4 people, produced a handgun, and opened fire, striking both of our decedents. After the shooting, the suspect then entered the museum and was detained by event security.
After the shooting, a man in custody inside the museum was heard chanting support of Palestinians.
Free, free Palestine!
He implied that he committed the offense. The suspect chanted, "Free, free Palestine," while in custody.
One witness says she gave the man water, unaware of what had unfolded.
We offered him water and he was like, yeah, that'll be great, actually. That's when he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a keffiyeh and says, I did it. I did this for Gaza.
The shooting suspect, identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago. Police say they had no prior interactions with him. The American Jewish Committee was hosting an event at the museum celebrating Jewish heritage at the time of the shooting. Israel's ambassador to the UN calling it, quote, a depraved act of anti-Semitic terrorism, saying the young embassy staffers killed were a couple who were planning to get married.
The young man purchased a ring this week with the intention of proposing to his girlfriend next week in Jerusalem.
As for the security questions being raised after the shooting, that museum just last week awarded a $500,000 grant to increase security. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
An Edna couple says a $1,200 rent-to-own couch they bought came infested with bed bugs, and now they're speaking out. Melissa and Gerald Manzanales say they've been making monthly payments with high interest and insurance, but when they reported the issue, the store offered suggestions, not a refund or replacement. Bed bugs about the size of an apple seed can cause itching, allergic reactions, and skin infections.
I was mad. I mean, you work so hard and you pay for something. I mean, and it's new. You don't expect this out of it. And if it does happen, I was willing to work with them work something out. As far as having the cleaning crew come in and clean it, I was willing to pay half.
We contacted the furniture store and they say they're investigating the issue. The couple made another payment last week, but say they don't plan to make any more. Graduation season is here. Whether they're stepping into careers, continuing their education, or chasing big dreams, we're cheering our area grads on every step of the way. Congratulations to Ambry. This is just the beginning of all the amazing things you're going to do. We're so proud of you. We love you, from Mom and your family. Congratulations to Amorlina. Your journey has just begun. We're so very proud of you. Love from Mom, Dad, Ethan, and Michaela. Congratulations to Avery Jade. We're so very proud of you. We cannot wait to continue to cheer you on and support you throughout your next journey in college. We all love you. Now through June 13th, you can submit a photo and a heartfelt message for your graduate. We'll feature them on air and across social media. It's our way of celebrating with you. Go to crossroadstoday.com, click on the entertainment tab, then select contest to upload your tribute and share your pride. All right, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's just about 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. New faces on the sidelines this fall. Meet the coaches taking charge at local high schools as football season approaches. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Jennifer Goodwin. The Once Upon a Time star is 47 today.
Happy birthday, Jennifer, and also happy birthday to Jazzy. From your dad, I love you, and I hope you enjoy your big day. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right, happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday. Like I was saying earlier, I think the big talking point on weather this week is it's been a little bit hot, and we're looking for the heat to continue over the next several days. So make sure to continue staying cool and hydrated. Make sure that those ACs are running nice and smoothly, because we're looking for a high of 94 today in Victoria. Looking at your almanac, just about 6 degrees above our average this time of year. May 22nd, we usually see 88, but 99 is our record on this day, set way back in 1917. More than a century ago, and it's a good thing we're not that hot, because if it were that hot today, combined with the humidity, we would probably see heat indices above 110, probably above 115. But thankfully, we're not that hot. We are going to see some high heat indices as high as 103 to 107, I'm thinking, for some today. So like I said, stay cool and hydrated, and do that all the way into the weekend time, and do that for anywhere in Texas, because you can see temperatures all across our beautiful state today. Going to be looking a little hot, just in the 90s and in the triple-digit low 100s. But the low temperatures will also stay warm over the next few days, thanks to the southerly winds bringing all that warm air off the Gulf, which water temperatures right now are like 80, 81 degrees. I'm thinking low temperatures in South Texas sticking in the 70s, rest of North Texas in the 60s. So not too cool, not at all. And neither will the high temperatures over the rest of the week. And you can see highs on Friday, 90s and 100s, and the same thing on Saturday, 90s and 100s, and the same thing on Sunday. Why is the heat continuing over us so much right now? Because we're in mid-May. Well, we have a dome of high pressure that has been sitting over our heads for the last several days, and you can actually kind of see it right here on satellite, right over here. But we do have two separate low pressure systems that will be making its way over the next several days, converging into one system, bringing both with it a front on Monday, Memorial Day night, dropping highs to the 80s, and also some much-needed rain. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
25 News Now sports director Max Williams explores the wave of new athletic directors and head football coaches reshaping our area and what their leadership means for the future of Friday Night Lights.
With the school year ending and graduation approaching, several Crossroads athletic programs are seeing leadership changes, including new athletic directors and head football coaches. Locally, Calhoun, Pulaski, and Edna are among those making moves. At Calhoun, longtime AD and head coach Richard Whitaker retired in January, and Cal Allen assistant Stephen Hernser was hired to take over, bringing a new spread offense and a focus on community involvement.
Honestly, I'm just looking for my opportunity. I know people see me as the new guy and as a replacement, and as fair or unfair as that is, that's the reality of the situation. I'm excited to be here. My family's excited to be here.
Hernser plans to engage the Sand Crab community both on and off the field.
We're going to be doing things like each coach will have a family group, and each one will be in charge of a certain aspect of trying to improve make these guys into better men, not just football players. And we're going to be teaching them how to tie ties, and we're going to be teaching them about social media awareness.
Meanwhile, Pulaski's hired Needville's Travis Hoffer, who aims to revitalize the struggling program by upgrading facilities and emphasizing discipline.
Stuff in the state, and that's going to help us take care of kids, treat kids, keep kids healthy. We brought in a new trainer, Coach Burt. She's doing a great job. She had to actually start early in April, and so we're excited to have her on campus already.
Hoffer also stressed the importance of details and mental toughness.
Take care of little things. We talk about discipline, mental toughness, and doing the little things right, whether it be clapping, lining up behind the line, doing things that we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do them, because the wins and the product, that's all because of the little things.
In Edna, the Cowboys are focused on sustaining their success after former head coach Jimmy Mitchell's reassignment left a major vacancy. Former Blanco head coach Jamie Dixon was hired in April, bringing that experience and commitment to Edna's high standards.
Not going to change. I mean, the Edna football program has its standards, and we're going to do our best to keep those standards and try to take it to another level.
Dixon brought several coaches from Blanco and plans to run similar schemes with some minor adjustments.
I like to be physical as they did. we're going to set up the run game and then, get it outside because we got, that's going to be, so far what I figured out is that's my biggest thing to do offensively is spread the ball around.
Each coach emphasized the importance of facilities, coaching philosophy, and community engagement. As we gear up for the 2025-2026 football season, here's a final word from Calhoun's Stephen Hertzer.
On my gravestone one day, they're probably going to put the words, the last one's got to be the best one. And I told them, I don't care if it's the last rep that we're doing in the weight room or the last sprint that we're doing on the field or the last year that you're working at a job, the senior year for those seniors that are coming up. Whatever the last thing is that you have, it's got to be the best.
Wish all these three head coaches luck as they start off their seasons on August 29th. Max Williams, KVU TV 25, News Now Sports.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Victoria residents facing new tough water limits, when you can water, when you can't, and how restaurants are reacting. Victoria is enforcing Stage 3 drought measures to reduce water use by 15%. Lawn watering and car washing are limited to specific hours, and sprinklers are restricted by address. Restaurants will serve water only on request. These measures will stay in place until conditions improve. Attention drivers, East Red River Street will be down to one lane in each direction between North Depot and North Cameron through Friday. Crews will be working on utilities daily from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., so expect delays and consider using an alternate route if possible. And here are some of the headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Seadrift approves over $500,000 for drainage payments, and Calhoun County Commissioners nominate Formosa for the Texas Enterprise Zone program. You can read these stories and more at portlavacawave.com. A Texas bill clarifying when doctors can perform life-saving abortions wins an early House vote. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast and the Port Lavaca sunrise with Parker. How's it looking?
Well, right now, not looking too bad down there in Port Lavaca this morning. Surely it is quite humid. You'll probably notice that the very second you walk out the door this morning, because look at this. We do actually kind of have a pretty sunrise over the coast this morning. Other areas that's not pretty. We're going to look at that here in a second because it's 77 to start of the day in Port Lavaca, but a dew point 1 degree away from that at a high 76, bringing us a high humidity of 98%, which would be enough to see a little bit of patchy fog that I think would form over the land, not so much over the water, because you're looking live in Cuero. There's that fog I was talking about. You could actually see the visibility right here in this picture down to about an 1/8 mile or less. But you did see it said it was raining on the Port Lavaca camera. It's not. Looking at the radar, there's nothing out there right now. Maybe just a couple sprinkles over the Gulf. But I do think we may have some rain to talk about in the afternoon time. Not on the coast. I think a high of 89 with decreasing cloud cover. Victoria, I'm thinking 94 today. A little bit warmer than that. Also a decreasing cloud cover. But inland counties, I think y'all are going to have the best bet for a few spotty showers in the afternoon. And the same thing in Cuero, but a little bit hotter. I'm thinking 96 today. But the temperature is going to stay just about like that for the next several days. A little hot, low and mid 90s before the front of Memorial Day Monday night gets here. We're back in the 80s.
At least the rain is going to hold off till early next week.
50, 40, 40.
Well, thank you all for being with us. Join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.